Have you ever wondered about the bones of a story? What did the outline look like before the characters hijacked it? Ophelia Kee always wondered the same things about her own stories. As a discovery writer, the chaotic pantser style, not even the author knew how the tales in the Draoithe Saga would go until they went. Backward analyzing one story while busy writing the next tale or two somehow never happened. Apparently, OK put things off long enough, and some fancy computer magic will provide us with those long-wished-for story overviews. We can finally X-ray the tales from the dream and see their skeletons. Shall we investigate the next story in the dream?
All right, today we are jumping headfirst into Ophelia Kee's urban fantasy novel, Dark Curse. I've been digging into this story, and let me tell you, it's this incredible mix of magic, trauma, and a relationship that is walking a tightrope between salvation and a total death sentence. So, let's see if we can unravel this thing together. This is the promise the book makes you right from the get-go. It immediately sets this mysterious, immersive tone, basically inviting us into a reality that feels like it's humming just beneath the surface of our own. It really makes you wonder, what is this dream exactly? So, to really get a handle on the curse, we have to start with the world where it all happens. It's a reality the author has built to feel both super familiar and, at the same time, deeply, deeply strange. We start off somewhere you could literally find on a map. A totally normal, everyday kind of place. And grounding us in the mundane like this, it's crucial because it creates this powerful, jarring contrast with what's really bubbling up from underneath. And this is where everything gets turned on its head. See, hidden inside this ordinary Texas town is a whole parallel, magical realm. It's a world woven from myths and legends, a place the characters just call the Dream.
The official name for this dream world is Draoithe. And it's not just some fantasy land for the sake of it. It has a real purpose: to fix a broken magical balance, one fated couple at a time. And well, that very purpose is what brings us to our two main characters.
Okay, so now that we've got a feel for the world, let's meet the two people right at the heart of this storm. Their totally opposite goals and their desperate situations are what light the fuse for the entire plot.
On one side, you've got Hannah O'Keefe. She's a dancer whose entire life gets stolen from her when she's turned into a vampire. On the other side, we have Flame, a 629-year-old dragon knight who saves her. Now, he's a ridiculously powerful protector, but he's also completely imprisoned by his own tragic past. So right out of the gate, you have this intense built-in conflict. One person who is desperate to escape this new reality, and another who sees her as his one and only destiny.
This quote from Hannah, it just captures her entire mindset perfectly, doesn't it? She doesn't see this new life as some kind of gift. To her, it's a prison. Every single part of her is laser-focused on one thing: getting back the life that was taken from her.
And then you have Flame, whose perspective is the total complete opposite. Where Hannah sees a curse, he sees a treasure. His devotion to her is instant and absolute. This clash between her sheer desperation and his overwhelming devotion creates this powerful, dangerous tension from the very first moment.
So, what are the rules of the game in this world? To really understand the mess they're in, we need to understand the fundamental forces that are pulling all the strings. Let's take a look at the magical systems that basically define their existence.
This whole conflict is really fueled by three main types of magic. First, you've got Veritas, which is the magic of blood. It's the very thing that powers Hannah's vampire curse. Then there's Sendra magic, which runs on sexual energy and makes every single magical interaction incredibly personal and, well, intimate. And finally, there's Den Lasser, the magic of fire. And this part is just tragic. It's a power Hannah was actually born with, but it was ripped away from her when she was turned. These three forces are just constantly at war.
Okay, so we've met the players, we know the rules of magic, now we can really zoom in on the central conflict. And it is a vicious, addictive cycle that is born directly from Hannah's curse.
So this curse, it creates this awful loop. Hannah is tormented by a vampire's thirst. The only thing in the entire world that can satisfy it is dragon blood, specifically Flame's blood. But here's the catch. Drinking it forges this incredibly powerful and addictive bond. And because of that Sendra magic we just talked about, feeding isn't just about survival, it becomes this intimate, euphoric experience that just ties them closer and closer together, turning the only solution into its own kind of trap.
And this all builds to the story's central question, and really its ultimate stakes. What does this intense, magical, and frankly dangerous bond truly mean for these two very broken souls?
For Hannah, the equation is pretty simple. She is trapped by a thirst she can't control and a life she never, ever wanted. Her entire being is focused on one thing: breaking free.
And Flame? He's just as trapped. He is absolutely haunted by his failure to protect two innocent women centuries ago, and that failure has defined his entire existence ever since. So in Hannah, Flame sees a chance for redemption, and in his blood, Hannah finds the only real relief from her torment. You can see how their connection could be the one thing that actually saves them both.
But, and you knew there was a but, this bond is also a cage. It's an addiction that's dressed up to look like a cure. He risks death by bleeding for her, which is a forbidden act, and through her desperate need for his blood, he's basically trapping her, whether he means to or not. And all of that leaves us with the final, haunting question. In a reality that is fueled by magic, by blood, and by raw desire, can you really tell the difference between a fated, epic love and just a beautiful, gilded cage? What happens when the only thing that can save you is also the very thing that enslaves you? That's the dark heart of this story.
I sincerely hope you enjoyed this view of a story skeleton, glimpsing the characters, setting, and plot structure along with the twists within the writing in this tale from the Draoithe Saga by Ophelia Kee. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more original stories and audio adventures. A special thank you to OK Music Writers for writing and for sharing the Enter the Dream soundtrack. It's more than a story, it's an experience. Welcome to the dream.